What's going on, everyone? So Sean Marks recently spoke about the trade with the Los Angeles Lakers. Rob Pelinka gave him some praise, and then, kind of bringing back D'Angelo Russell, as well as sending out Dorian Finney Smith. And kind of Sean Marks and what he talked about and touched on and kind of praised Rob Pelinka, they have a good relationship, right? And it's one of the reasons why I thought a Nets trade could get done. I had comments from, not everybody, but, fair amount of people that were like, oh, look, the Nets deal fell through. Like, the Nets won't ever trade with the Lakers because look at Kyrie and stuff like that. And that's not the situation at all, right? Like, the only reason Kyrie's not a Laker is because of Joe Tsai spite for Kyrie, right? Like, it had nothing to do with the Lakers. Like, originally, they were working it out. I mean, Sean Marks and Rob Pelinka in Vegas went to, like, dinner and hung out and were like, living their best life together, trying to work out some type of Kyrie trade that made sense for both of them, right? Like, they were, like, regularly talking about it and probably would have gotten it done until Joe Tsai said, because Kyrie wanted to go to the Lakers, right? And so Joe Tsai, the owner, he felt slighted. Again, all this information is out there. You simply Google it, or you just go look. I mean, I literally built my channels on the back of Kyrie to the Lakers. So trust me, I am very familiar with the Kyrie Irving situation. But yeah, it was not like a Sean Marks, Rob Pelinka issue or, a Nets Lakers, like Nets won't ever trade with the Lakers type issue. No, it was a Kyrie issue. It was Joe Tsai felt Kyrie disrespected the franchise. It just basically wanted to, oh, you want to go to Lakers? Then fine, you're not going to Lakers. Kind of one of those things. Like, I'm going to send you to the last place you want to go type thing. And Dallas came in and gave the best. I mean, Dallas didn't even have a better package. Like, the Nets took a worse package to send Kyrie. But again, Joe Tsai wanted that, right? He didn't want Kyrie to feel like he won. So ended up sending him to Dallas, which, I mean, you could argue Kyrie still ended up winning because he's just in the NBA Finals. So, take that as you may. But point is that, there is a relationship there with Sean Marks and Rob Pelinka. They have praised each other in numerous fronts, right? They just got a trade done. Usually you go back and you trade with the people that you trade back for. I really think that the Brooklyn Nets are still an option for the Lakers. I mean, they still have several pieces that make sense. But before I dive into that here, I want to kind of go over exactly what Sean Marks said. So he said, this particular trade came around quickly, or really quickly. It was one of those things, obviously having discussions with multiple teams, as teams do at this particular point in the year. So that's not out of the ordinary. But the deal with the Lakers is probably a total of a half day, 12 hours, something like that, from start to finish. So give Rob Pelinka and the Lakers a lot of credit for, coming to the table. And this particular trade gives us what we need in the long term. We've talked about building long-term sustainability, success, and that's where we want to go or want to get to. And how we are going to do that is through these future trades, picks, drafting assets that we got. So again, just like, hey, this was a trade, move quickly. Because remember, like 12 hours earlier, he was headed to the Memphis Grizzlies. Dorian Finney Smith was, right? So all intent and purposely, like, oh, he's going to a team such as the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, that sucks. That's tough. Like, that's probably the only real quality win that the Lakers could have gotten. Now he's gone, and then boom, right? So life moves fast, NBA moves faster, and next thing you know, boom, Lakers end up getting it done, which you got to credit Rob Pelinka for, getting it, jumping on it when the opportunity was there, right? And this is something that I've talked about with Rob. Like, if deals are there, he'll take them, right? Like, people want me to be more critical of Rob and stuff like that, but it's just like, you got to look at the entire circumstance. You got to look at the full picture, right? Like, one, he's dealing with Genie Bus. Like, people think Rob's the problem. And look, I'm not saying Rob is absolved of issues. They had to change league rules on second round picks because Rob Pelinka was handled them so badly. It's literally called the Rob Pelinka rule. There's a lot of things to criticize Rob Pelinka for. I've criticized Rob Pelinka about those things. I just feel like a majority of the things that people criticize Rob for aren't even Rob's fault. right? Like the Russell Westbrook thing, Rob Pelinka had no intentions of trading for Russ. That was LeBron James and Anthony Davis who wanted to do that. They went to Anthony Davis's house, talked, did a little kumbaya and decided like, hey, we all want to play together, told Jeannie, and Jeannie said, Rob, get this done. So he got it done, right? Rob Pelinka then was going to go turn him into Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. We probably have a championship if we would have gotten those two guys. And Jeannie vetoed it. I mean, when do you ever hear of an owner vetoing trades? Almost never. And Jeannie's done it like 3 or 4 times in the last like 3 years, right? Like it's crazy. And people are always like, fire Rob. Like fine, fire Rob. But like who are you replacing him with? Oh, Bobby Marks, or not Bobby Marks, Bob Myers, right? Like why would he want to come to the Lakers and be told how to do his job? What respected GM would want to come to the Lakers and be told how to do their job, right? Like by Jeannie Buss and the Rambis family that have no idea what they're doing, right? Like, this is the last thing anyone wants. So I think Rob's actually done a good job, and when things are there, he'll do it. If Rob doesn't do anything, if Rob ended up overpaying or making a bad trade, which he used to do early on, like people praised him for early trades, but he was overpaying for those trades. I like that he's figured it out. He's been more patient. He's improved, right? He got Dorian Finney Smith at a great price, right? Like, for cheaper than what Memphis was going to pay for him. So, like, again, you got to give credit where credit is due. I'm not saying, like, he's an untouchable GM, but he's done more. Like, people look at, like, OKC and Sam Presti and are like, he's the greatest GM ever. What has he done? Rob Pelinka has more success than he does, right? Like, Rob Pelinka has more success than, like, 90% of the GMs of this league. So, again, you got to put things in perspective. But I digress, right? Getting back to the Nets deal. I do think that there is still a path to potentially work out another deal. One of the things was like, why didn't they get Day'Ron Sharpe? Lakers were supposedly interested in Day'Ron Sharpe. They need a backup center. And they easily could have gotten him instead of Shake Milton, or still could have gotten Shake and still gotten that. Like, say you threw in your other 2 seconds. Like, if you told me Lakers traded 5 seconds for Dorian Finney Smith, Day'Ron Sharpe, and Shake Milton, we all would have been like, let's go. Like, we all would have been like, Rob, like, you did it, right? Like, so I don't know why that didn't happen. Now, could be a couple reasons. One, maybe the Lakers have interest in kind of a higher tier guy, a better guy. Maybe they wanted to explore things. Maybe they wanted to wait, and they know like Day'Ron's still going to be there, right? So it's like, we're not really in a rush to go get him. Like, let's do our due diligence and find out. Because again, you can always go back. You can always like hit them up again. And so kind of like see, okay, well, what if we could get Walker Kessler, right? What if we could get, a Vucevic? Supposedly Lakers recently inquired about Vu. So maybe they want a higher tier center. Kind of makes some sense. That could be a possibility. Or maybe Day'Ron's price is higher than we originally anticipated. Or maybe the Nets wanted to wait off on him, right? Maybe they're not 100% because he is 23. So maybe they're looking at it as like, we want to make sure if we don't trade Claxton, then something like that, because Claxton's supposedly available as well. So, they might be looking at it as like, hey, we want to wait. Right, get back to us closer to the trade deadline. That very well could have been the case. That very well could have been what happened. I imagine Rob at least like, hey, what about Day'Ron? We need a backup center, right? So I'm sure that there was that conversation there. But, again, go back. You still got, perfect world Cam Johnson, but I just think Cam Johnson's unrealistic. I think he's going to the Thunder, and the only reason it hasn't gotten done yet is because they need to wait till January 15th. If the Thunder could get it done today, they'd probably get it done today. But they got to wait for Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe to become available, and that doesn't happen until December 15th, right? Unless they are willing to trade some of their core guys, but, it doesn't seem to be the case. So I think after January 15th, you're going to hear Cam Johnson to the Thunder, right? I'm not saying it'll be on the 15th, but, like, I wouldn't be shocked if by, like, within a week from that day, he's an Oklahoma City Thunder. I just don't think anyone has the assets or pieces to outbid the Thunder, and they have the cap space, the assets, the players, they have everything, right? Outbid everybody. So curious to see how that plays out. But, again, you have guys like Day'Ron Sharpe, again, Cam Thomas. Can you maybe pull something off with him? A couple like, kind of random key guys that like you could maybe fill out some depth at some point. So, the Brooklyn Nets are still a very real option, in my opinion, or, could even be a team that helps facilitate some things, right? If you go make this move over here, because they just want, like, assets and stuff, right? So, maybe you're including them into a third team so they can kind of be this like value. Like it's good that you see these relationships being built by Rob Pelinka and the Lakers, right? The Wizards are a team. Utah has been a team that's made trades with us in the past. Now you have the Brooklyn Nets. You have these like teams that you keep hearing the Lakers defaulting to. You have these teams that you keep hearing that like, oh, Lakers are linked to this. And it's like, it makes sense because, again, usually teams trade with who they know. Teams usually trade with the people that they've built relationships with. Now, being a GM is like 90% relationship, right? Like, you're just building those relationships in order to pull off the best trades possible. So I do think keep an eye on the Nets still. Outside of Cam Johnson, there's not really like, Nick Claxton would be great. Right? Do you trade a first or multiple firsts for that? Maybe I'll do a video on just like Nick Claxton, right? But like that, that makes a lot of sense. Nick Claxton alongside Anthony Davis would be tough. But we'll see. Time will tell. Just like, again, keep an eye on him. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think like, yes, keep an eye on the Brooklyn Nets? They built those relationships. Do you think like, no? There's like, what else could we want? Day'Ron Sharpe, sure, but like outside of that, no one else is realistic. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.